Translated to English, the poem reads, Wanderer, even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times, come yet again, come, come. We will begin with a chant before adding the melody as we normally sing it. Though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, 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 come, come, wherever you are, Lord, to worship, Lord, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, come, wherever you are, Lord, to worship, Lord, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, come, wherever you are, Lord, to worship, ours is no caravan of despair. Come
Good morning. Welcome to the Sunday morning worship service at DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Mara Southorn, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees. Unitarian Universalism is a faith tradition committed to creating a just and flourishing world for all people. Our Universalist theology tells us that every person is worthy of love. Thus, when we say, whoever you are, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here, this is our message of love to you, inviting your whole self into this space to help us co-create a world centered on our values. We invite you to learn more about us and consider joining this community to enact our values of equity, justice, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. If you would like to explore ways to connect and get involved, please stop by the newcomer welcome between services in the lower annex or contact Tina Lewis, Director of Membership and Engagement. I have a couple special announcements. It is that time of year again. The Special Collections Task Force is asking the congregation to nominate local nonprofit organizations to be part of our special collection effort as we live out our values in our communities. The task force is now accepting nominations for the 2026-27 fiscal year that begins in July. Consider nominating an organization where you volunteer, receive services, or just admire their good works. You can find the Special Collections nomination form in the next several weekly emails and on the Coffee Hour Facebook page. Deadline for nominations is March 31st. And now we have an announcement from Sophie and the Coming of Age Youth Group.
The DUUC Coming of Age Youth Group is collecting donations, food and clothing items to support people in need through the People's Resource Center. Each month, 3,000 DuPage families in need count on PRC for free, nutritious food. Your donation can help keep the pantry shelves full. We would love your help in making a difference. If you would like to contribute, please drop off your donations in the corridor between Creeves Hall and the sanctuary from now through March 1st. Thank you in advance for your generosity and for supporting our project.
Now, if you are online, I invite you to greet each other through the chat. And if you are present here, I invite you to turn to someone that you did not come with and greet them with a wave and a good morning greeting.
Together, we light this chalice to center ourselves in this sacred moment. We call upon the ancestors, those who tended the flame before us. We call upon our children, whose brilliant spark remind us to seek out courage and challenge. We call upon one another to remind us we are never alone on the journey. We call upon ourselves to hear the call of this flame and to nurture it with love.
Good morning. Welcome to this place of love, this place of communal flourishing. We gather each week to open our hearts, to expand our minds, and to see the sacred within each other. Come, let us worship together.
The song Dauna Naish is the result of a collaboration between Samir Badri and Ted Warmbrand after they both were featured at a peace rally in Arizona before the U.S. bombing of Afghanistan and Iraq. The text of Badri's Arabic prayer was set to music by Warmbrand. Translated to English, it reads, "Let us live in peace. Let us live in inner peace. Let us weave our dreams together. Let us die in peace."
The mission statement of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church reminds us of who we have agreed to be, who we are. Please join me in reading our mission statement. We gather as an inclusive community to grow in character, mind, and spirit, and to transform the world toward fairness, love, and compassion. The vision statement of DuPage Unitarian Universalist Church is our dream, who we wish to become. Please join me in reading our vision statement. We strive to boldly enact our values toward a just world as we nurture our growth to become a more inclusive and deeply connected intergenerational community.
Our vision of beloved community is rooted in the relationships that we have with one another, our world, and creation. Each week, we offer the opportunity for joys and concerns to be shared here aloud from the pulpit. And I have one concern that came from email by Freya Versen, who is in Iceland with her family this week. And she is learning all about glacier melting, and she is very concerned about it. And she shares with all of you her sadness. Freya is one of our children in this congregation, and yes, it is for certain a reason to be sad. Because we are in an inescapable network of mutuality, it takes all of us in all of the ways to do all of the things to save the icebergs and to show up for each other, to protect each other from immigration enforcement agents. And so I just wish to lift up, you may have received an email if you're on our Justice in Action email list. If you aren't, please make sure to send one of our staff members an email and we'll get you on it. But our high school students, both here and greater in community, will be hosting a march and a protest tomorrow at the Washington Street Bridge in Naperville. So if you feel like you have a few hours or an hour or so to protest, please join them. They are our future leaders. They wish to show their leadership and stand for all of the people that they love. I invite you into a moment of silent, meditative prayer.
It is time to gather, and I would like to invite the kids to come forward and join me for story and activity. How you folks doing today? Staying healthy? As I've been hearing that Naperville's been hit with a lot of flu this past week. So remain healthy. Good thing we have an extra day off this week, so one day more that we get to stay away from school. So, starting this coming Tuesday night, is the beginning of the Muslim holiday called Ramadan. And Ramadan lasts for almost a whole month. It is the 9th month of their calendar, and at the end of the month, they have a big celebration. But before I read the story or the book about Ramadan, I want to tell you about the Muslim religion. So every Muslim has 5 basic pray 5 times a day. Charity. all Muslims must give money to the needy, and this is called zakat. 4, fasting. During Ramadan, Muslims fast from sunrise to sunset. Do you know what it means to fast? What does it mean, Miles? Right, so you can eat before sunrise, and you have to not eat or drink all day until sunset, and then you have a big meal to make up for the time that you didn't eat all day. And then 5 is the pilgrimage. Once in a lifetime, Muslims are called on to make a pilgrimage or a religious journey to Mecca in Saudi Arabia, if possible. So Ramadan is a holy month. It was the month when the Prophet Muhammad received the first verses of the Quran. Do you know what the Quran is? It is their holy text. So Christians and Jewish people have the Bible that contains the Old Testament and the New Testament. So for Muslims, they have the Quran. And here I have a copy of the Quran. Looks like a Bible, but if you look inside, and if you want to come forward and look, see over here, all the words are in Arabic, and here is the English translation. So a lot of Muslim people, they are able to read Arabic, but not all of them. So they have the translation on the side. So that way they can read the Quran and understand what it's about. So Ramadan is a time for reflection, for meditation, for carrying out additional prayers each evening, and for listening to the Quran being read in the mosque. So have you ever seen a Muslim person pray? Have you seen that? Maybe in person, or maybe you've seen it in a video. What does it look like when someone prays? A lot of bowing, standing up, bowing. So what I want to do is I want to show you what it looks like when a Muslim person prays and talk about what they are doing as they are standing up or bowing or kneeling. We're not going to actually pray, but we're just going to go through the postures so that we know so we understand it. So let's stand up. You don't have to. So the first thing they do is that they need to face Mecca. So Mecca is in Saudi Arabia. So from Chicago, you're going to look east and then turn a little bit to your left, so it's kind of a northeast. So if you look at me, so pretty much stare at the glass windows over there. All right, so we start by, you know what, why don't you guys go that way and I'll go in front of you so you can see what I'm doing. So you stand tall, facing forward, shoulders back, and this is the declaration of intent. Then put both hands to your ears, palms facing out, and you say they say God is very great. So they're starting the process of prayer. Then they stand with both hands folded in front, and this is the supplication, and they recite the first chapter of the Quran. So they memorize and say the whole first chapter of the Quran. Then they bow down at the waist, looking at the ground with their hands on their knees. Back is straight, and they praise Allah's majesty. Then they stand tall and straight again, and then they kneel down and bend forward with your forehead to the ground, both arms alongside your head, and this is the first prostration. And then while you're still kneeling, you sit straight up. You can put your butt on your heels. Hands rest is the first sitting position. And then we do the down with your forehead to the ground, arms stretched out. This is second prostration. And then we kneel, sitting up straight, hands and arms, lower arms resting on your thighs. And this is the sitting position. And then they give prayers for Muhammad, Abraham, for your family, and then for yourself. And then they remain kneeling, sitting up straight, look to the right, and this is the first salam, and they say, peace and mercy unto you. So this is them ending the prayers. And they look to the left, and to the person to their left, they say, peace and mercy unto you. And then they remain kneeling, and if they want to give any extra prayers or thoughts, this is the time for that. And that is their prayer, and they do this 5 times a day. Thank you for demonstrating. Now, I'm going to come back over here, and you guys can look towards the wall because I'm going to share a story. So can you imagine having to pray 5 times a day? Now, sometimes this happens in the middle of the day, so it might be when they're at school. Do you have any of you that might have Muslim kids in your classes that they take time out to pray, maybe during lunchtime? I know some schools have a room set aside so that they can pray. All right. So, I would like to share a book with you that explains more about what Ramadan is. It is titled Ramadan, a Holy Month by Malik Amin. Tonight, we search the starry sky. We catch a glimpse of the crescent moon and begin Holy Ramadan. During Ramadan, Muslims eat and drink only when it's dark. We have a big meal very early, before the sun even rises, and we don't eat again until after the sun sets. This is called fasting. But why do we do it? Because it is written in the holy book called the Quran. All Muslims follow the words of the Quran. It is read around the world in many different languages. The Quran tells us how to be a Muslim. For example, it says to care for people who need help, to pray 5 times a day, facing the holy city of Mecca, and to fast during the month of Ramadan. But fasting isn't for everybody. Children and people who are sick are among those who do not fast. Those who do fast start the day before dawn with a meal called suhoor. What we eat and drink before sunrise has to last us all day. Eggs, oatmeal, potatoes, bread, rice, and nuts are good choices for suhoor. These foods give us energy. And some people eat fish or chicken, but nothing fried or too salty, because that would make us thirsty during the fasting hours of the day. Fruits and vegetables like celery, cucumbers, lettuce, oranges, peaches, spinach, strawberries, tomatoes, and watermelons are full of water. Eating them helps us not drink until after sunset. But Ramadan isn't only about fasting. It's also about becoming a better person by being kind and helpful. We raise money and give to those in need, and we spend extra time praying and reading the Quran. we say Ramadan Mubarak to each other, which means Happy Ramadan. And we prepare the food for our evening meal called iftar. Muslims live all over the world and cook different delicious meals. Some people start iftar with lighter food and a beverage, like a date with a glass of water, or a sweet drink made with mixed fruits and syrup. Others serve creamy curries, fresh soups, and rich stews. Fragrant rice dishes paired with grilled meat or kafta are popular. Crispy, golden pakoras filled with vegetables are a favorite in many families. One thing is for sure, there's plenty of food for everyone as we sit together before another day of fasting. Ramadan goes for a whole month. It ends how it starts, with a crescent moon in the sky. And this marks the beginning of a new month, Shawwal, and the celebration of Eid al-Fitr. In Arabic, Eid means festival, and al-Fitr means breaking of the fast. We call it Eid for short, and we say Eid Mubarak. We dress in a beautiful new clothes and go to mosque and pray together. And after prayer, the celebration begins. We visit our family and friends, we tell stories, we give each other presents, we decorate our homes with string lights and garlands. Some people use henna to decorate their hands too. And we cook our favorite foods, like suhoor and iftar. What we eat at the end of Ramadan is different from place to place and family to family, all around the world. But no matter how we celebrate, Ramadan is one of the holiest times of the year for Muslims everywhere. So I'm wondering, do you have any questions about Ramadan or the 5 pillars or prayer? Yes. What's that? If they have to eat or drink, they can go ahead and do that. If they're not feeling good, they're feeling dizzy, they can get some water or get some food, but only just what they need. They shouldn't eat a whole meal, but they can get a little snack because it might be their blood sugar is low or something. So the idea is not to let them get sick. Any other questions? All right, let's sing to the children.
Giving of our treasure is how we reciprocate the many gifts we are given by this community and how we live our values in the world. Each Sunday, we offer our financial gifts to both this congregation and to an organization that gives life to these values and makes a difference in the world. This month's special collection is the Tom Galloway Scholarship Fund at College of DuPage, a legacy of Tom Galloway, who with his wife, Bobby, was a longtime member of DUUC. Tom was president of the congregation 1994 to 1996. He established a scholarship program to support African American students at the College of DuPage that our church has been supporting for more than 20 years. Your generous donations pay about 1/3 of the annual tuition for a scholarship recipient, or also have been used by recipients to obtain access to computers, purchase textbooks, or help with living expenses. As we pass our offering plate, know that it is a vessel that connects us to each other through our gratitude and generosity. So give freely your thankfulness in abundance, that our values can forever take hold in our world. A poem by Rumi. There's hidden sweetness in the stomach's emptiness. We are lutes, no more, no less. When the sound box is filled, no music comes forth. When the brain and the belly burn from fasting, every moment a new song rises out of the fire. The mists clear and a new vitality makes you spring up the steps before you. Be empty and cry as a reed instrument. Be empty and write secrets with a reed pen. When satiated by food and drink, an unsightly metal statue is seated where your spirit should be. When you fast, good habits gather like friends who want to help. Fasting is Solomon's ring. Don't give in to illusion and lose your power. But even when will and control have been lost, they will return when you fast. Like soldiers appearing out of the ground or pennants flying in the breeze, a table descends to your tents, Jesus' table. Expect to see it. When you fast, this table spreads with other food, better than the broth of cabbages.
Please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing together hymn number 86, that is, Blessed Spirit of My Life.
With
For our honeymoon, Elias and I went to Puerto Rico in June, when they had record summer temperatures. It reached 120 degrees in Ponce, a town on the southern part of the island that is desert in terrain. We were in Bayamon on the north side of the island, just south of San Juan, a terrain that is jungle in the mountains where Elias's parents live, and sugarcane on the plateaus closer to the coast, like the sugarcane you might have seen during Bad Bunny's performance at last week's Super Bowl. It was hot, like seriously hot. And most people and places do not have central air, maybe not even actual air conditioning. And while breezes in the mountains where Elias's parents live are beautiful, and afternoon rainstorms are frequent because of the high humidity, it was hot. And this poor northern Dutch, German, Danish girl doesn't do heat. I felt like I was wilting. The cool concrete tile floors with thick stone walls kept our lodgings cooler and became my best friend, but it was brutal. It was that image that came to mind when I read the meaning of the word Ramadan, which is scorching heat, a time of fasting, prayer, and contemplation in which one is burned, metaphorically speaking, into becoming a new being, burned into a recommitment of faith, burned into acting upon the tenets of one's faith tradition. Heat works like that, doesn't it? This past summer, our family spent 10 days in Spain when they were having a massive heat wave. 120-degree temperatures were normal midday, and going out at siesta time between 2 to 5 p.m. was intense. The heat was so consuming. And I better not take vacations in warm places anymore either. But I understand the word choice for Ramadan. Choosing to examine one's faith and commitment to one's faith is all-consuming. But what do I mean when I say faith? There's an assumption in some Unitarian Universalist spaces that we are not, or at least not any longer, a faith tradition. And that's not true. Faith does not necessarily mean a belief in God or a divine being, even. Theologian Paul Tillich, writing and resisting in the 1930s and 40s in Nazi-run Germany, defined faith as that which is your ultimate concern. That could be God, but faith could also be the tenets of our Unitarian Universalist tradition. Faith could be the understanding that we are deeply and intricately connected to each other and the earth. My faith is the understanding that change is how we transform into our full potential as human beings, allowing us to be more just, more kind, more loving, and bringing all of these foundational aspects to each other and the world as we are linked in mutuality. Taking time to consider your faith is why it matters how you enact it in the world, like Muslims do on Ramadan. And Christians in the season of Lent, these are powerful opportunities to allow us to be scorched into the essentials of what it means to be human with purpose and intention. Taking time for fasting, praying, repentance, reflection allows us to burn away our distractions that would have us burrow ourselves away from the world and away from creating beloved community here on earth. And I find myself considering the scorching heat more seriously and urgently than I have ever before. Without faith, our deeds are dead. They have no meaning, and worse, without faith, we will find ourselves frozen, choosing inaction. I've mentioned before, most recently at our January MLK service last month, that faith within Unitarian Universalism is something that we've sometimes failed to articulate. And thus our actions do not have the potential, meaning, or even effectiveness that they might otherwise have. So my question to you today is, what is it that you find yourself ultimately concerned with? What is the driving force of your life that requires you to act in order to make the world a better place? What is the center of your being that asks you to take risks, to put yourself, your body on the line? Ramadan, the Islamic month of scorching heat in which Muslims consider their commitments to their faith, is a time in which they ask these sorts of questions. Just as I find the repentance and repair rituals of Jewish Yom Kippur and Hindu Holi important, so I find the ritual of Ramadan to be vital to a robust faith journey. The rigor and discipline of fasting and contemplation of one's own faith allows for an expansion of depth into our commitment to ourselves, each other, and our journey to bring justice and love to a broken world. In the same way that our Unitarian Universalist tradition has sometimes lost its commitment to faith, we've also lost our practices on reflections of faith and how it makes us better people and the world a better place. For me, my faith, that which I am ultimately concerned about, requires continued recommitment, a constant evaluation of self and actions. When I think about Ramadan, the process of refining oneself in the flames of one's faith, what I'm thinking about is the reclaiming of righteousness. Not self-righteousness, but the right action that allows us to walk with integrity, to bring our faith into the future. Righteousness, the word and the concept, has been co-opted by the religious Christian right as a claim of moral superiority based upon a purity culture rooted in biblical mistranslations and theological negligence. When I speak about righteousness, I'm speaking about a people who have been scorched by their faith into living with integrity and acting on the values that bring the collective beauty of justice to our world. This doesn't mean that we do no wrong or that we walk in arrogance at having the right attitude or perspective, but rather that we wrestle with the questions of right and wrong as they're weighed against our ultimate concern, and act with authenticity and humility to break apart hate and bring forth love into the world. In the churches of my childhood, we recited both the Heidelberg Catechism, question and answer number 1, and the Apostles' Creed every single Sunday. Any expert in pedagogy will tell you that repetition is important. It's how things stick. I can still recite both the catechism and that creed. I bet many of you can if you grew up in a tradition that also did those kinds of things. In our church, Carl and I have continued this tradition. We repeat week to week words and songs that we sing and speak again and again. These actions allow us to embed our faith within our beings. This is what Ramadan is asking. The risk, of course, is that repetition sometimes leads to indifference. That meaning is lost when something becomes habit. That is why returning again to reflect deeper and regain the righteous commitment of one's faith is important. This is why seasons of reflection like Ramadan are important. We don't have many of those traditions in Unitarian Universalism that allows us to do this work of recommitment, of faithful examination of that which is our ultimate concern. This is something we can learn from the Muslim time of Ramadan. It's something we can learn from the season of Lent, a tradition rooted in our Judeo-Christian history. And this year we will be offering an opportunity for you all to engage with considering your faith again through the Lenten journey. Beginning this week with an Ash Wednesday service on Wednesday at 6:30. And then each week we're going to offer an opportunity for reflection via an email until Good Friday and then Easter. I hope you'll consider taking an opportunity to contemplate, to examine, and to recommit to that which guides your faith, especially in a time when we are called to act on our faith at risk to our lives. The time has never been more urgent, more important for us to find and hold and enact our faith. That may mean grand acts and gestures as we risk everything for people we might even consider strangers. But it also might mean the everyday acts of love and care, art and beauty that bring joy and resilience to our lives and the lives of those around us. As our Muslim siblings consider their faith in the scorching heat of examination, may we too consider the ways we can live more fully into that which holds us in the midst of despair and lifts us to new heights of love.
Please rise once again in body or in spirit and join in singing hymn number 10, Immortal Love.
As we enter the end of winter and the beginning of spring, may we consider all of the ways that our love can be brought forth not only within ourselves, but through our community to bring forward the world we wish to see. May it be so. Blessed be.
We extinguish the light of this chalice, but not the light in our hearts. Until we meet again, may the warmth of our community carry you.